breaking news, we are now also on Blogspot. It's a citywideblackout.blogspot.com. We're going to be just posting recordings of our previous shows, articles from local musicians and just music enthusiasts, and previews of some of the upcoming interviews. So give that a look-see. It's citywideblackout.blogspot.com. And we are back with our Noise Spotlight Guest of the Month, John I. And John, we were talking earlier about the music video that you did for cannonicus Sundance, but you've got another one coming out with this for Faith and Fanatics, and that's a very different track from the other video.
That's right. Yeah, actually, I almost forgot about that.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, so many things in the air all at once.
Exactly.
Yeah, Faith and Fanatics. That's an interesting song. That we have a disc that we put out by that title and with a few songs on it. But that song specifically, it's a little touchy. Basically, I came about writing it sort of after the 9/11 experience, and I'm sure every musician in the world has written something based upon that.
Just about, yeah.
So I know it's not completely unique, but basically, it was my experience of it, and I guess what I was not, or what affected me was seeing that it was a religious movement that caused this to happen in the first place, and then the United States leadership calling God into the play as well. And that all kind of bothered me. And it was the idea that this whole faith and fanaticism was really the root of at least part of the problem that we were facing. And so I felt like I wanted to write about that angle of it, and that maybe we kind of need to pull that out of the discussion, and we might be able to find some resolutions without bringing God into the picture. So it seems like whenever you bring up any incarnation of some creator, people get really worked up over it.
Yeah, it's always the hot button topic. You bring it up and everything gets emotional. You know?
It seems like it's very hard to resolve problems when you're bringing that into the conversation. So I wrote that song. We put it out, a demo version of it. And then when I started doing videos again, I picked that song, and it struck me to do a video for it, mainly based upon sort of the subject matter of it. You know, what has been the result of fanaticism? What has been the result of extreme levels of this? And so I've been pulling news footage and footage that has been out there, everything from Pol Pot to Hitler, to political fanatics, to religious fanatics, and compiling it into a video and just showing the extremism and the destructiveness that has brought to us.
Okay.
And some of the footage is going to be from friends who have experienced the Gulf War themselves firsthand.
Okay.
So some of it's unique footage there. It's interesting because some of the footage is from suicide bombings, and when you put it to music and when you put it to lyrics and you sit back and you watch this moment of one of the particular scenes as a group of men walking down the street, and all of a sudden the bomb goes off in the middle of them, and you kind of sit back for a second, and it's hard to believe that that's real.
Yeah.
And you kind of look at that to put to the music, and you're like, wow, that's so extreme. But that's kind of the point. You want to look at it and realize that it's so silly, and it's so absurd, and it's so extreme, and it's so unnecessary.
Wow.
So yeah, it's going to be kind of a harsh video, because there's a lot of footage of, like, Pol Pot did crazy things with his victims. He was like very similar to the Nazis. He was measuring skulls and all these things, and he kept all records of all his victims' photographs, and he kept all their skulls, and yeah, he's very odd.
Wow.
So So there's photos and video footage of that, and it's kind of disturbing to see how far astray humanity can go when we aren't kept in check by reasonableness, I guess. So
that's a good point. Yeah,
and moderation.
Yeah. So. Now, one of the things that I actually got out of your interview in The Noise, which is, by the way, folks, available on newsstands right now. It's free, so you got no reason to not go and pick it up. The Faith and Fanatics video poses, in your words, why after all this time have we not grown out of killing each other in the name of some god or another to serve individual greed and desire for power? Now, if someone were to ask you that question, what would you say?
Why? Well, I mean, it's basically because there is inherently in certain people a greed for power and attention. As far as I can tell, I mean, not everyone who's a politician is like that. And I guess you can. There's an old saying, there are politicians and there are statesmen, and they are very different things. Statesmen are people who do things. They go into politics in order to protect and represent the people, and they feel it is their job to represent the interests of the people, and that's sort of the origin of what we expected in founding this country. Whereas a politician is more in it for their image, their power, their stepping up, and how much influence they can have for their own personal agenda. Okay. So I think we have too many politicians and not enough statesmen. And I don't think that's just a problem in the U.S. I think that's a global problem. And it's greed. It's sort of, I think it's human nature for someone to say, oh, I have one of these, I want two of them, or I want more, I want one of those things that I don't have. And that's something that is in everyone. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants that car or that new toy or that new computer.
Exactly.
So
the new bright shiny thing.
Exactly. And it's a great feeling when you get the new bright shiny thing. That's a lot of fun. But we have to look at ourselves and every once in a while go, is that necessary? Can I really afford this? Instead of going into crazy debt, which too many people have done.
Yeah.
But also, more importantly, is my desire for this going to impact other people negatively? Mm-hmm. And I think that's what people don't look at closely enough. How their desire for power, or their desire for social station, or money, or objects impact so many other people negatively. And that's something we, as a global population, have to become more responsible with.
Okay.
So,
well, John, show's almost up now. Just burns right by, doesn't it?
It does go quick.
All right, John, I want to just thank you very much for joining us today. And if folks want to learn more about you, check out the new CD, where can they do this?
You can definitely always find information on www.johni.us. Mm-hmm. We'll have tour information when we start touring, but new releases. And if you sign up for the mailing list, you will get access to exclusive content. We will be releasing, on occasion, for very limited periods of time, downloads for free for anyone on the mailing list. So they'll be available for periods of time, and then we'll take them down, and then we'll put up a new one.
All right.
So
sounds good.
johni.us.
All right. Okay, we are going to end the show with one more song, actually another version of the Cannonicus Sundance. This is going to be the Rivethead version. You've been listening to Citywide Blackout here on CyberStationUSA.com. I'm your host, Max Bowen, reminding you to keep those ears open.
This is where they make the medicine. You should have some.